Let's talk about the players who are going to enter the NFL draft, or have entered, I should say, the NFL draft, and will be up for selection in April. So in keeping with the landscape of sports media as it is today, we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL draft, right? So I've told you who I think are my best available players in this draft, and kind of building on that with free agency very much underway, some big deals being signed. Shout out to Tulsa's own Josh Jacobs, who signed a deal with the Green Bay Packers to keep running that football. I'm with it. I kind of want to talk about what the needs are for some of these teams in the first round and who I think they could select. Okay? So number one on the list, Marvin Harrison Jr., who is given all the vibes of a guy that reluctantly left Ohio State. He's still there. He's still working out, right? He's still going through practice with them dudes. But you could see why he is wide receiver 1 on the board. There's nothing that dude can't do with a football in his hands, right? Give him whomever you want. He's going to eat him up. I think the best fit for him, though, is where most people have him, Arizona Cardinals at number 4. If he lasts to number 4, and I'm not sure that that's even a thing, right? Given what you might do with Chicago or not do with Chicago, right? On down the line, depending on how much you value great wide receiver play, Marvin Harrison Jr. is that dude. Like the way that we were looking at Jamar Chase a few years ago, that's how I think we should be looking at Marvin Harrison Jr. And I think that the Cardinals could do very well to go get them the Biletnikoff Award winner and the first dude to have multiple 1,000-yard receiving seasons at the Ohio State. Next on the list, let's go keeping it in the game rivalry with J.J. McCarthy. I'm going to buck the trend here. I think that J.J. goes to Denver at number 11. You saw Russell Wilson just signed his deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to be looking. I don't think that Drew Lock is the guy, and I don't want to get into that too much, but I do want to talk about how I think Sean Payton looks at J.J. McCarthy and sees Drew Brees. I see Drew Brees. I see more athletic Drew Brees. I see Drew Brees with a really, really explosive arm. There's nothing that JJ can't do with football in his hands. Now, given that he can do what you ask him to, the kind of offense that Sean Payton would like to run, he'd love to trust the quarterback. He'd love to get that guy in one-on-one situations with Marvin Mims, who's got 4.4 speed, who's probably going to move into that wide receiver 1 category as Jerry Jeudy just signed with the Cleveland Browns. I think that's a great fit. I think it gives them an opportunity to start over. I think that's what Denver's been begging for. And I think JJ did himself a service by showing out at the NFL Combine, really reinforcing what those of us that have been watching the sport for some time already knew. He is a supreme athlete. And then he got to show his charisma. And you're going to need all of that in Denver, right? That's a place where Peyton won. That's a place where John Elway won. You get what I'm saying here, right? They could do with another franchise-level quarterback that can sell a lot of cars and also looks good on a billboard. All right. Next on the list there, I'm going to continue to buck this trend. I got Jayden Daniels going to Minnesota at number 12. I think based on what he did in 2023 and just how badly the Vikings need a quarterback and also a calming influence, it's a good fit. Like, it's one thing for me to tell you that I got some questions about Jayden's ability to translate to the NFL, because we got 4 years of tape and then we got 1 year of outstanding tape. And I just don't know which one to trust there. But you know what I can trust? His attitude about the game, his ability to stay mature in the pocket, to not say anything that's going to get anybody in trouble. He is one of the kind guys in our sport. Many people root for him and pull for him. I think you could do with that in Minnesota and Kevin O'Connell. Just give some stability to your quarterback room by saying, hey, this is the rookie. He's also an older rookie. He's going to fit right in what we're doing, and give us an opportunity to go win some football games with his arm and his legs. Next on the list, I got Michael Penix Jr. going to the Vegas Raiders, who are expected to release Jimmy Garoppolo. And we know that it was kind of a musical chairs thing with Aiden O'Connell even taking some snaps for the Raiders. When they had good quarterback play, they felt like a team that was on it. Remember, they gave the Chiefs the what for and the how now in December and really woke the Chiefs up. Chiefs got back on the good foot, won the Super Bowl. But I think that is a team that, quite honestly, is a quarterback away. And I think Michael Penix Jr. looks at Devontae Adams is like, hey, look, I got another Romo Dunze. I can make that work. I got another Ty Freifogel. Didn't think I had that one, did you? I can make that work. I also think that another older, mature quarterback coming into a room full of vets where Antonio Pierce is getting the opportunity to set the tone with the Vegas Raiders would be so welcome to that organization. Because basically, since Josh McDaniels decided to go with Jimmy Garoppolo, it ain't been feeling too great. Matter of fact, basically, since they lost out on the Tom Brady sweepstakes, it ain't been feeling too great, even with Derek Carr being Derek Carr, right? Who I thought was a tremendously cool dude and a pretty damn good quarterback, all things considered, right? Last on the list, my favorite one to slide here, Xavier Worthy to the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 17. I think Calvin Ridley leaving the Jacksonville Jaguars, if, when, how that happens, would really be the reason why I settle on this, because I think that of that 2017 quartet of wideouts to come out of Alabama, right, I think that that dude is the most underrated of the group. That guy can run, right? That guy can take the top off the defense. Xavier Worthy showing that he has 4.21 speed and has already been doing the yeoman's work with Texas, catching most of those balls, being their wide receiver one, can return kicks, can return punts. You're going to get him on a rookie deal. You're going to add him to Trevor Lawrence, add him to Travis Etienne. Excuse me. Trevor Etienne's on my mind because he just transferred to Georgia. You understand what I'm saying here? I think that's great. I think that you could have a really young, dynamic trio that you could perhaps see walk in the AFC title game, not unlike, say, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase. I could see that with Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Xavier Worthy. If you're in the market for a wide receiver, though, you can also afford to be a little bit, shall we say, conservative, because this is a very, very deep class of wide receivers. So those are the 5 fits that I have for NFL prospects. Perhaps they'll go to these places. Perhaps they will have tremendously long careers. If you like what you've seen, consider subscribing to the #1 college football show on YouTube, the Fox Sports app, or wherever you get your podcast.